My first 4 fights, I didn't like that. They like, I remember once I started getting famous, they started trying to call me Japanese. I remember fighting that and telling them I'm not Japanese. One of the videos when they have your fight in a fight video and they have your name on it, they have the what country you represent. They had it Japanese. So I remember getting in touch with that company, telling them that I'm not Japanese, put American. I'm not Japanese. That's a mistake. Making them change that. So I had a real big chip about because I came to Japan and I was treated with prejudice. I'm like, I wasn't a Japanese. I'm gonna be even stronger and more intense about being about American. So that was my whole thing. And as I was going into fighting, I kind of resented the fact that just because I got famous, they started trying to take me in as a Japanese. But I don't know, because I could speak the language now as I was fighting, and the fact that I had Japanese blood, they made an exception for that, because I was like a strong fighter, and they started slowly taking me in as a Japanese person. And the chip prevented me from absorbing that to a point where I kind of sat back and said, hey, wait a minute. Why am I fighting this? This is actually a good thing that they're actually wanting to take me in as their own. So for me, it was like, why am I fighting this? Maybe I should just drop the chip. Maybe I should accept it. And I thought too, as a fighter, to get fans is also a good thing. So I figured if I get fans and it's a good thing, then maybe it could make my popularity go up, get offered more fights. So I thought, what, I'll drop that chip. And I said, okay, you know what? I'll be proud and I'll fight in Japan, and I won't be, too concerned about I'm American, I'm not Japanese. I just fought as a fighter and see how the Japanese people take me. They took to me a lot, and they took me really well, to a point where, I don't know, there was a change in me during that fighting period where, the question is when I had that change. I realized I had that change when I actually had a chance to fight in Abu Dhabi in a super fight against Mario Sperry. And when I went there, again, because they flew me out from Japan and I looked Japanese, I guess the Abu Dhabi people didn't realize that I was American. So when they had me line up, Abu Dhabi had, like, at the time it was just all by invitation. Yeah, the sheikh would invite all of us. So everyone was invited. Had Brazil, had America, had Canada, had all the countries lined up. So what they did in the opening ceremony was they had a flag, and they had everybody line up behind their flag. And I remember when they called my name up, it was Japan, and I had to stand behind the Japan flag. And I remember, I didn't, it was already set. The whole program was set. I couldn't just say, no, I don't want to be there. I want to go and run to the American side, because they already had me listed as Japanese. So I went and just lined up the Japanese flag. And I don't know, when they were making the announcements and doing the ceremony, there was a little change in me where I realized that something inside of me changed, because I remember feeling a little proud about representing Japan. I'm going to show them how strong our fighters are in Japan. I had this road change. Like, there was a little bit of, I had that pride of fighting for Japan. And that's when I realized that, there's a little bit of change in me, that I'm accepting Japan as my home. And that's when I realized that I actually did let it go.
Kumite Radio is brought to you by Supplement Warfare. Go to supplementwarfare.com.au for all the best supplements on the planet. Use coupon code Kumite Radio at checkout to get 10% off all orders.